Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts a Ting, a Ting, a Ting. I'm Mr. Giant, back with another video for you, back with another reaction. And I haven't done a whole lot of city by city reactions of Serbia. So let's start off here. I think I did Belgrade. I'm going to do Nice, Serbia. I've heard about it, heard some cool things about it. And I'm going to be watching the full city guide with top 10 highlights. And if you're from Nice and you're watching this, hook me up with some places or tell me about some places that wasn't mentioned, some things about Nice that wasn't mentioned, since you would know more about it than I would, you know. And if any kind of, just talk to a brother and let him know. It's not just about the music, it's about the cities, it's about the music, is about the culture in general, rural life, urban life. I want to know all about it. Let's go ahead and YouTube and simmer and see what we're going to learn about Nice here. All right. I like that a lot of these cities have flowers in their big cities. Southern.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Niš Serbia. In this Serbia travel video, I'm going to take you through this beautiful city in Europe, which is still not on major tourist maps. Niš is located in the south of Serbia and is a historic place in Europe. It's one of the best places in Serbia for authentic local Serbian food and one of the most beautiful places in Serbia, surrounded by green hills, which provide some amazing views across the city. Serbia is one of the countries with less tourists in Europe, and what I like best in Serbia is that there is so much to discover wherever you go in this beautiful country in Europe. This trip was my first time in Serbia, and I learned so much about the rich and often difficult and complex history of Serbia. Niš is a great city to visit if you want to get history in Eastern Europe, although some of the sites are shocking and very thought-provoking, as you will see in this video. I hope this Serbia video on Niš will give you some inspiration if you plan your next trip to beautiful Serbia. As I have mentioned in my previous videos in Serbia, Serbia is one of the more affordable countries in Europe. Your travel budget will go much further here, and Niš is no exception to this. So if you're interested in cities to see in Europe that are affordable places to visit, Niš is a perfect place to visit in Europe. I will take you on a tour through my top 10 of the best things to do in the city, ranging from a visit to the old fortress, to a tower made of real human skulls, a Nazi concentration camp that was left undisturbed and feels like it was abandoned just yesterday, and an impressive Second World War memorial. And of course we will talk about Serbian food. Here's a map of Niš with the main landmarks we will visit. And I've organized this Serbia travel video with chapters, so feel free to jump to the sections you are most interested in. But as you can see, there's lots to cover in Niš, so let's check it out.
Let's go! Opa! Butterfly.
Number 1, Niš Fortress. A natural starting point for any tour of Niš is Niš Fortress. It is located right next to the Nežaba River and is an impressive large Ottoman fort with an ancient citadel. The fortress was completed in 1723, but the ancient citadel was built on Roman settlement foundations that date back more than 2,000 years ago.
Wow.
Since the days of the Roman Empire, the city of Niš has been a strategic boundary post between East and West. The man who maybe exemplifies this divide the most was the Roman Emperor Constantine, who was born right here in ancient Nisus and who went on to found a new Rome and Constantinople, today's Istanbul. Many years later, in the 15th century, the Ottomans took control of Niš and built this massive fortification. The fortress covers 22 hectares and comprises more than 2 kilometers of walls. The best way to enter the fortress is through the ceremonious Stamboul Gate. Once inside, check out the remnants of the Turkish Hammam, the historic Beli Bey Mosque, which dates back to 1521, and the Lapidarium with Roman tombstones. Apart from that, the fortress is also a great place for a walk and feels a bit like a sizable park with lots of large trees providing welcome shade in the summer sun.
See, there's a similarity there, because we have an old fort, and it's a lot smaller than this because it's a little island, but we have an old fort that was built in the 16th century. And it's called Fort George. The British built it, So, hey, similarity there, boy. And I'm talking about in Grenada on the island. See music, man. There we go. On the walls, y'all.
Tip number 2, King Milan Square. From the fortress, cross the bridge over the Nejava River, which is currently under renovation. From there, you can also see plenty of nice cafes at and around King Milan Square. King Milan Square is the beating heart of Niš and one of the major meeting places in the city. The square dates back to the 1720s, when shops and khans, the merchant inns, were set up here as the city grew along the riverbank. Later, the square turned into an important market where the local landowners would sell the leftover goods they had accumulated from their remnants as tax. When Niš was liberated from Ottoman rule, the old Turkish-style townscape was demolished and the square was given a fresh Central European look. Today, the picture is a bit mixed. On the west side, you will find 20th century tower blocks, while on the eastern edge, there's still a picturesque row of 19th century houses with cafe terraces in front.
Ooh,
in the middle of the square, you will see the monument to the liberation of Niš. The monument is regarded as one of the most important works of Yugoslavian sculpture art, sculpted by Anton Augustunčić, a well-known Croatian and Yugoslavian sculptor. At the top of the monument, you see a horse rider with a flag that symbolizes the arrival of freedom. And the central part represents Stefan Sinjelić in the Battle of Chegar and Koleragic, calling the people from Niš to rise up against the Ottomans at the end of the 19th century. Number 3.
I'll be honest with you. I like this video already because not only is it showing you the city, it's giving you a little history of the city also. So I like this video. Comment down below if the guy leaves anything else out, or you just want to add something. Comment down below.
Niš City Center. Walk further past the square and you will get to the city center of Niš. Taking Obrenovićeva Street, a pedestrianized boulevard that is lined with shopping malls, large international and local fashion chains, bookstores, electronics outlets, clubs and restaurants. If you want to go shopping in Niš, this is the place to go.
Oh, what's Puppy doing there? See them sitting in that balcony up there? Man, that'd be nice, you know?
Number 4. Tinker's Alley.
Tinker's Alley.
Go further down Obrenovićeva Street and you will find a small square on your left with an interesting bronze sculpture showing two guys and a dog sitting at a table. Near Stefan Sremac, the famous Serbian writer, and his friend Kalcha, a character from his novel Ivko's Feast. One interpretation of the gesture is that Kalcha shows Sremac how many rabbits he has caught. The sculpture was erected in the original place of the house of Gazda Ivko, a wealthy local craftsman, and has become a must-see landmark in Niš and a favorite spot for visitors to take pictures. It also indicates the entry point for another major highlight of any visit to Niš, the famous Tinker Alley. Tinker Alley dates back to the time of Ottoman rule at the first half of the 18th century and is the city's last surviving craftsman quarter. The main livelihood back then was tinsmithing, a trade that continued here up to as recently as 30 years ago. In the 1990s, the pretty cobblestone alley has become a favorite with tourists, and tinkers have been replaced by several cafes and restaurants that now occupy these 18th and 19th century buildings. It's a great place to take a rest and try the many food varieties in offer, or just grab a coffee and enjoy the relaxed atmosphere.
We have a lot of cobblestone alleys on the island, though not as big as these. You know, you have cockroach alleys, Cooper Hill. There's a whole ton of them in the city itself, and I'm talking about back home in Grenada. Again, the similarities, but the cobblestones is more of the British type cobblestones, so they don't look like this here. It's actual stones, and they get real slippery. whenever it rains. Ugh, it was no fun.
Number 5. The Holy Trinity Cathedral. Walking further south, past Dujanova Street, you will get to Holy Trinity Cathedral. The city's cathedral is a product of the 1856 Treaty of Paris, in which the Ottomans formally recognized the right of Christians in their empire. Construction took place over the next few decades, and the church was consecrated after the liberation of Niš in 1878.
Wow.
The design of the church is an eclectic mix of Serbian Byzantine, Neo-Renaissance and Baroque styles. The altar features 48 icons in an iconostasis from the 19th century. Unfortunately, the originals were lost in a fire in 2001, but the building and its decoration have been completely restored.
Acoustics. Man, that art. Spectacular. I love the history of places, man. I like all historical places. Be it cathedrals, forts, palaces, castles. Wow.
Number 6. Traditional food.
Oh.
It is impossible to visit Niš and not talk about food. A traditional Serbian meal at a kafana, which is a typical Balkan tavern, is something you have to try at least once in Niš. Eating at a kafana is a multi-course event, beginning with a meze and ending with coffee. If you have not done so yet, make sure to try the local burek, a filo dough pastry filled with meat or cheese, and a pljeskavica, a grilled patty from seasoned beef, in a pita or bun with a spicy cheese filling. There are many excellent restaurants in Niš, but my favorite was restaurant Mehana, which I highly recommend. If you want to learn more about food in Serbia, also check out my video on my top 20 food tips for Serbia.
I'm gonna have to check that video out. Oh, what is that? That looks good. Go to them sausages,
For our next
man.
landmark, things will get a bit more grisly. I'm heading to the famous Skull Tower, which is located a bit outside the city center on Boulevard Dr. Sorana Djindjića, but it can easily be reached by bus or car in less than 15 minutes. A gruesome reminder of the bloodshed of the first Serbian uprising, the tower is literally made of rows of human skulls cemented in quicklime. The story goes that during the Battle of Chegar, the Serbian trenches were being overrun by attacking Ottomans, so the Serbian commander Stefan Sinjelic personally detonated the powder magazine to avoid being taken prisoner by the Ottomans. Lots of Serbs lost their lives, and over 950 Serbian skulls were collected from the battlefield. They became material for the tower, which was erected in 1809 to deter another uprising. After the Ottoman withdrawal in 1878, most of the skulls were removed and buried, but a 4.5-meter remnant of the tower is housed in the chapel and still contains 54 skulls. It's a spooky but pretty unique landmark that is definitely worth seeing when in Niš.
Wow. That's just so much a stark reminder of let's just have some peace and love each other, you know what I mean?
Tip number 8. Mediana. From the Skull Tower, I headed further out of town on Boulevard Dr. Sorana Djindjića to visit the Roman camp Mediana, which dates back to 75 BC. This
Wow.
camp was the birthplace of Emperor Constantine, who was born in Isis in 272 AD. Mediana was an important post at the Via Militaris, a road across southeastern Europe from what is now Belgrade to Constantinople. Today, it is an important archaeological site with remnants of an open fountain surrounded by a colonnade of marble columns, mosaics and traces of frescoes, as well as a heating system for the villa's bath. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go in, as Mediana is currently under renovation, but you can visit many of the artifacts from Mediana in a separate archaeological museum in the city center.
This is just so cool how they're preserving all that stuff.
Number 9. Crist concentration camp. My next stop takes me to the western part of Niš. I'm heading to Crist concentration camp, no doubt the most moving and terrifying landmark during my entire visit in Serbia. After the Second World War ended, this concentration camp was preserved as a vivid memorial to the Jewish, Serbian and Romani people imprisoned here. Crist stands for Red Cross, named after a nearby Red Cross facility. During the Second World War, it was established by the Nazis, first as a transition camp and later as a concentration camp in which prisoners were kept for mass executions. More than 10,000 prisoners are estimated to have been killed by the Nazis in Niš alone, many of which were brought to Mount Bubanj for mass execution. What makes a visit here so powerful is that the camp has been left alone since the war and feels eerily like it has only just recently been abandoned. The exhibitions in the original camp buildings are very informative, with lots of info panels explaining the many artifacts that date back to the 1940s. It is a remarkable place to see, and I was surprised to have been the only visitor the entire time I was there. It's no doubt a shocking and depressing place, but nevertheless a must-see historic landmark in Niš.
See, if I didn't watch this video, if I wasn't paying attention, I would have never learned that there was concentration camp in Serbia. They had Serbians, Romanis, and Jewish people in those camps. I never knew that. This is the first time I've heard about this. Wow. That's crazy. I didn't think, you know what I mean, that happened there. I didn't know that was part of y'all's history. That's for sure. Things we do to each other, huh?
Number 10. Bubanj Memorial Site. In remembrance of the mass killings that happened from 1942 to 1944, our final stop on this tour leads up the mountain to Bubanj, where I visit the Bubanj Second World War Memorial. This hilltop is now the site of a beautiful memorial park that keeps the memory of the 10,000 lives lost in mass executions that happened here. In 1963, the Yugoslav artist Ivan Sabolic created 3 clenched fists to symbolize the defiance of the children, women and men who died here. There are lots of war memorials in the Balkans, but I found this one the most moving and powerful. While the site is very contemplative, it's also become a favorite for families to have picnics and youth to go jogging or hang out with their bikes. It's particularly nice during sunset. Check out some of the views here.
got me daydreaming, you know what I'm saying?
So these are my top 10 things to see in Niš, Serbia. I hope you found this Serbia travel video on this remarkable city in southern Serbia helpful and provided some inspiration for your next travel in Eastern Europe and Serbia. Let me know in the comments below about any additional tips that are not covered on this Serbia video on Niš.
This was a really good video. I learned a lot in this video. This was a superb video. Yes, it's going to be on the bucket list. Watching this video makes me want to visit Serbia even more. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's just so much to the place that's not shown, you know what I mean? And yes, when I go there, I will be recording and I will be putting it on my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be a whole lot of different people that's going to see it. People from the islands, people from Ireland, just different people that are going to be on my channel seeing it, you know what I mean? From an island boy perspective. So yeah, that's my plan. You know what I mean? To be there, taste the food, meet the people, talk to the people, show people that, you know, people are people everywhere, you know. They're just relaxing, enjoying themselves, trying to live life, loving each other, being friendly, and not as they portrayed, you know what I mean? It's just anywhere you go in the world, man, it's just people living, and you know. But yeah, that's my big plan there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like on the video on the bottom. Share the video. Let everybody know Mr. Jad is reacting to Serbian and Balkan stuff in general. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You all take care of each other. Why do I always have to sneeze right at the ending of a video? Go ahead and love each other, and let's try to bring some peace in this world. And let me end this before getting to a sneezing fit.